Frisbee in the movie called Jesus Revolution.
What is a revolution? It is a forcible overthrow of a government or social order in favor of a new system. Combining the terms Jesus and revolution together is an oxymoron. Jesus didn't come to overthrow government. He said, "My kingdom is not of this world." He didn't come to overthrow social order in favor of a new system. He already created the correct system, and he came to restore that. The mission of Jesus is best described in the Gospels, and she will bring forth a son, and you will call his name Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins. The only one who started a revolution was God's enemy, Satan.
Lonnie Frisbee was an actual mess in life.
This guy that he's portraying in the movie, Lonnie, he was open homosexual. He died of AIDS. He was using LSD, smoking marijuana, and there was no message of repentance.
In fact, he did drugs even when he was preaching. He never left the homosexuality movement. His marriage was constantly in trouble. So it's strange that they're taking the picture of what's being stamped in everybody's mind, Jesus, and then now all of a sudden he's playing this character that has some really bad behaviors and characteristics in his life. This movie is being shared around in a lot of Christian circles, and people are excited about there being a revival, which I think is a great thing. There literally is people who need Jesus right now, and I hope that everybody has a chance to come to Jesus. But they're stamping this image of a revival in everybody's mind that has nothing to do with your obedience. That's going to be a problem. We know that there is going to be a great religious awakening in the end of the world. But the Bible tells us in 2 Thessalonians 2:9 that right before that huge awakening happens, that there is a false awakening that happens. Listen to what the verse says. "Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause God shall send them a strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness." The Bible tells us that there will be a lie, a deception that's coming, and that deception is going to be of a religious order. And how do we know how to distinguish between whether that's of God or whether that's of Satan? Is literally this. It's the coming of the lawless one, someone that doesn't follow the law, someone that delights in wickedness, someone that says it doesn't matter what you do in your life, all you got to do is believe in Jesus and you will be saved. That's it.
In Revelation, we see a beast, which in Bible prophecy represents a king or a kingdom. But there is something different about this king or kingdom. It's of a religious order. How do we know? Well, it has a name of blasphemy. It speaks things in blasphemies, and it opens its mouth in blasphemy against God, his name, his tabernacle, his people. What is blasphemy? It's the act or offense of speaking sacrilegiously about God or sacred things. It's profane talk. And we see that in the process of time, there is a kingdom that will try to force or cause people to worship in a particular way. This power uses signs and wonders to deceive people on the earth and validate its theology. The interesting thing about this sign is that it's described as fire from heaven. This is the same sign that was used by Elijah to confirm that God was with him on Mount Carmel. You can see the logic. If God answers by fire, whatever's being said must be true. But listen to the words of Deuteronomy 13:1-5. "If there arises among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and he gives you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or wonder comes to pass, of which he spoke to you, saying, 'Let us go after other gods, which you have not known, and let us serve them,' you shall not listen to the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams. For the Lord your God is testing you to know whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart. and with all your soul. You shall walk after the Lord your God and fear him and keep his commandments and obey his voice. You shall serve him and hold fast to him. But that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken in order to turn you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you from the house of bondage, to entice you from the way in which the Lord your God commanded you to walk. So shall you put away the evil from your midst.
So how do you not get deceived? You fall in love with the truth of the Bible. Because the lawless one, somebody that doesn't care about the commandments, somebody that doesn't follow the laws of God, is going to come and deceive people. And the people that are going to get deceived will have been the people that delight in wickedness. You remember the verse in Matthew 7:22 and 23? Jesus says, "Many will say to me in that day, 'Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name, have done many wonders in your name?' And then I will declare to them, 'I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practiced lawlessness.'" I think that stamping an image of Jesus into everybody's mind that does not care about your behavior is setting people up for the false Christ. They will be a class of people that think they're doing God's will. Lord, didn't we prophesy? Didn't we do all these amazing things in your name? That's a class of people that believe in God, but they delighted in wickedness and lawlessness. Do not let this movie put an image in your mind that Jesus does not care about your behavior.
When the Bible talks about a time of lawlessness, they have a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, the power to have freedom and victory over sin. That's what Jesus does in our life. He can set us free. But if you just have a form of godliness and you say, hey, I'm wearing a cross, I hold a Bible, I go to church every week, I'm a Christian, but you don't see the fruit, you don't see that transformation, the renewing of the mind, then that's just a form of godliness.
In Luke 5:32, it says, "I have not come to call the righteous, but the sinners to repentance." Repentance and turning away from sin is a theme that runs throughout the Bible. When the woman was caught in adultery, Jesus said, "Go and sin no more." Turn away from that. Don't just keep continuing. It doesn't matter what you do. The Bible tells us we need to cease from sin, turn away from it, and turn our hearts back to God. Listen to what it says in Luke 15:7. "I say unto you likewise that there will be much joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 persons who need no repentance." In Luke 24:47 it says, "And repentance and remission of sins should be preached in his name to all nations, beginning at Jerusalem." Repentance and a turning away from sin is literally what Jesus was wanting us to preach. The very stamp of heaven is obedience, those that follow what God is asking them to do.
Doing what God asks you to do has always been the test.
Could the world potentially be watching something that is in sheep's clothing?
Opening the door for a false Christ.
According to the creators, the point of reference isn't biblical. The characters are from the Bible, but the storyline is fiction.
Trying to appeal to everyone all at once in this ecumenical movement in a loose, watered-down version of the gospel.
The fact that Jesus downplays the rules. And if we know where this thing is actually going prophetically, the end of the world, we see a group and a class of people that follow the rules.
Sin ruined this world because someone believed the lie that God would not take their behavior into account.
So with all these things and probably more, what does that leave us with? Entertainment? All right, well, fair enough. But I can assure you that the book is better.